am Melody. Welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. Willison got the latest report on cartoon, A Powerful Illustration. David Tanner will give us all the details on Asia's largest photo and advocacy event. Akajo has the story on the effort China is taking to meet the face mask demand. Dora Swizin has the full story on Myanmar International Agricultural Machinery Expo 2020. Pure Theory got the latest report on Korean Food Festival 2020, held offering discounts on items. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi received a delegation led by Aban Marker Kabraji, Regional Director of Asia and Director of IUCN Regional Hub for Asia-Oceania on Wednesday. During a meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Naypyidaw, they exchanged views on the cooperation in the area of ecosystem sustainability, environmental and biodiversity conservation between Myanmar and IUCN. The meeting was also attended by Union Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation, U Oh Win, and senior officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A coordination meeting at the Ministry of Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement on Tuesday discussed promoting the inclusion of people living with disabilities in the hotels and travel sector. National Committee on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Vice Chairman, Union Minister for Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement Dr. Wimye A. first gave a speech. He said the hotels and tourism business supports the socio-economic development of the nation. The union government places as much importance on ensuring the rights of persons with disabilities as developing the hotels and tourism sector. A report released by the World Bank states that the people most interested in the global travel business are persons with disabilities and the elderly. The union minister said the Ministry of Construction is to make public buildings and its environment more accessible for persons with disabilities. Due to the outbreak of COVID-19 in China, many industries in Myanmar has great impact, the officials from UMFCCI said during a press conference in Yangon on Thursday. The press conference was held after the meeting between the government officials, the private sectors, and the local international chambers, and the officials from the Confederation of Trade Unions of Myanmar on how to overcome the impact of COVID-19 on business sectors on Friday morning. It is learned that the raw materials for garment industry have been imported from China, and it now has been suspended. These factories are now operating with 8 working hours per day and are closed on Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays, while paying full salaries to the workers in order to continue the operation of CMP factories till April. The UMSCCI Secretary General said many SMEs and small businesses also have great impact by this issue. The industry players requested the government to grant low-interest loan for the businesses that were affected by the outbreak so as to continue their operations. This is Myanmar Today Review, broadcasting from Myanmar International Radio. On FM, make sure you catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download both MIR Radio app on both iOS and Android devices for your own convenience. And I believe it's time now for our first report. Cartoon is one of the most powerful and effective ways to express the current situation relevant to the people. And it has been used for many years across the world, and Myanmar is not exception of it. Myanmar also has a history of how cartoonists played an essential role in the past, and they're also still using the same method today. Therefore, with the aim to raise awareness on rule of law in Myanmar, Myanmar Cartoonists Association held a 3-day cartoon exhibition in Yangon under the title of Balance Skill Without Pointer. Willison will tell us the full story.
For centuries, the people have been using illustration of cartoon mostly to express what the people feel and the opinions of the cartoonists regarding the current issues on cartoon. According to the report by some of the cartoonists in Myanmar who have been using the art of cartoon to demonstrate the present issue of the nation and their opinions, cartoon has been associated with the political, social, and other areas of lifestyle in Myanmar for many years, as well as the voices for the voiceless people. With the aim to raise their voice regarding the current situation of the nation, especially when it comes to the rule of law, balance skills without pointer, cartoon exhibition was held at Mahamadullah Park in downtown Yangon, where many visitors have a chance to see the artworks of the renowned cartoonists in Myanmar. And the exhibition, which started from 27th of February, will go till 29. Speaking to MI Radio on why cartoon exhibition related to the rule of law is necessary, Mon-Fri, a cartoonist, said,
As we all know, the main objective of drawing a cartoon for a person like us is we are trying to portray anything which is related and relevant to contemporary issue, and the cartoonists always keep a watchful eye on what is going on around us, reading the news constantly. But what we see these days is the number of crimes is on the rise, which makes the cartoonists start to draw cartoons related to the rule of law in our nation. For the country like Myanmar, which is in the process of political transition, the rule of law is very much vital. If we are to pick up one incident, Victoria case is one of the most remarkable ones, which tells us how effective the rule of law in our nation. The aim to highlight the rule of law regarding Victoria case is the main objective in this exhibition.
Speaking on how far this cartoon exhibition of justice can help improve the rule of law in Myanmar, Mon-Fri also speaks and explains furthermore.
I don't want to exaggerate so much that this exhibition of cartoon will completely change the situation, but we do believe that for a nation like Myanmar, which is in the midst of transition, art can be used as a very powerful tool. We have enough proof of changes brought despite the use of art in the world. Many cartoonists have worked hard and spent several hours in drawing of these cartoons, so I want to invite everyone to come and have a good look at what the cartoonists have to say about the current situation of our nation.
Chisway, a cartoonist who also spoke to MI Radio and said,
I believe this cartoon exhibition will greatly help our nation in improving the rule of law, as the exhibition is named Justice. We cannot deny that there is weakness in respecting the law and bringing justice. But seeing the need for rule of law in our nation, we must use all the tools, including arts, literature, music, and other instrumental equipment, spreading awareness through all these things for the prevalence of the rule of law in our nation. We, the cartoonists, are responsible to spread the awareness to all the areas that need to be fixed. But all these things have to be carried out only with a sincere and honest heart to contribute to the holistic growth of our nation, but not in the way to cause any problem. If we don't obey the rules, where will we live? This is why we are trying to point out and support the areas there is a need to support.
But what does OBJ has to say about all these cartoon exhibitions aiming to spread the awareness of current issue And he spoke to MI Radio and said,
The fourth branch of a nation, which is the media, is just a partial pillar, or in other words, it is a same-sex pillar. The first three pillars of a nation are mostly responsible for rule of law in our nation. But we are here to support the rule of law and help the first three pillars in building the nation.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's the report on Cartoon, a powerful illustration. For its 12th edition, the Yangon Photo Festival has been opened at Goethe Institute on 19th of February with a photo book exhibition, a series of shows, and party. It will also set up a photo village on Mahabandula Park on the weekend of the 22nd to 23rd February with exceptional documentaries on a giant LED screen, exhibitions including the World Press Photo, and a photo studio. Reporter David Tanner got all the details of it.
The opening ceremony started with the upbeat showcasing of photo books from various countries and from a variety of artists around the world, including Indonesia, France, and Myanmar. The diversity of photographs and stylized printing of each and every photos were purely breathtaking. With that said, I've interviewed Miss Kiran, who is one of the participants of the Yangon Photo Festival and the publisher of Guari Gallery.
My partner Andi Ari and I are participating in Yangon Photo Festival 2020. Guari Gallery is a photo book gallery based in Jakarta, Indonesia. So this year we bring around 38 titles of Indonesian photo books. So at first we open the submissions to all Indonesian photographers who produce photo books. So we selected and we bring photo book selection. Our tagline is a personal story for you. So we are looking for personal photographs that matters and relate to anyone. But for this time, we engage Indonesian photographers and local publishers that have Indonesian content.
One of the artists in the showcase section of the ceremony blows my mind in where she creates a phenomenal minimalistic photo art with a classic way of printing. The artist's name is Miss Isabella, and she will tell us more about her photography artwork of our Myanmar's very own beautiful Irrawaddy River.
Yes, it's a work about Irrawaddy River, and I start to collect some information of a scientist. And with this information, I begin to start a work, and I begin to travel from north to south in Irrawaddy. And there I made the picture during my trip, and I passed through different process. But after I chose to focus only on some figures that were like surviving for me, and to those figures that had a real connection with the river. And first, I made a process with a very analogic classical printing. I more experiment with the support and the materiality of photography using a technique of 19th century.
I have also interviewed Mr. Stephen Noel, who is renowned for making gum bichromate prints using a multi-layered printing process that originated in the 19th century. It can take him up to 10 days to make a single print. Mr. Noel will share us more of his photography artworks about which he wanted to pay tribute to the last charcoal burners of Cuba, also known as swamp people.
Here what is exhibited, it's a work that I did between 2011 and 2016. Different trips to Cuba to talk about the last generation of charcoal burners. It's probably the last generation because now the country is more and more open to tourism, and the young people, they don't want to do this very hard work. And that's one reason, and also some international investors are coming with new technologies, so they will probably continue to make charcoal out of wood in Cuba, but not this with this ancient way. They are mainly located on the Bay of Pig, the most wild area of Cuba where they were working, and there were no roads, no electricity, no school, no hospital, nothing. It was the swamps. So this group of charcoal burners knew the area so well because as they didn't have road and it was forest and swamps, it was impossible to cut the wood and to transport it. So they were using the water of the swamp to push the wood to where they wanted. So they really knew the area by heart. And thanks to that, the history is what it is today. I mean, they played a very important role in the history of Cuba with the invasion in 61.
Mr. Stephen Noel also told MI Radio for the real catch of why these charcoal burners are and how we can learn from them.
I wanted to meet these people because it was something like most of my project. It was something that I had no idea about, and I wanted to learn from them to know more about their life, about their history, and to see a different way of living. So, and it's most of the thing that I'm doing. It's really concentrated on human beings. I'm really trying for them to be as natural as possible, and it takes quite a long time.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on Asia's largest photo and advocacy event. Moving on to the third report. China is the world's largest producer of them with a reported daily capacity of 20 million pieces. However, the mounting concern over the super spreader coronavirus provokes the high demand of face masks and the protective clothing. To meet the shortfall, some Chinese companies in unrelated industries have started making masks. Akajo reached out to Masu Temu from China Media Group CRI.
With the coronavirus outbreak, the demand for the face mask has been on the rise day by day. China is the world's largest producer of them, with a reported daily capacity of 20 million pieces. But by the estimate of its manufacturers, domestic demand alone is around 50 to 60 million per day. Despite some experts doubting the effectiveness of such masks for stopping transmission, it does not put a damper on demand due to the widespread concern mounting across the globe. Retailers on multiple continents are running out of masks, and prices for a box of masks on online retailers like Amazon have surged to hundreds of dollars. Most importantly, the face mask demand in China is the pressing issue amidst the intense virus outbreak. For more on the need of the face masks and the efforts taken to meet the demand, MI Radio reached out to Masu Temu from China Media Group in Beijing.
အရန်ကိုမြင်ပါတယ်ဒီလိုမျိုးယောဂဖြစ်ပွားတဲ့အချိန်ကနေစပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်အခုဒါယောဂထိန်းချုပ်တဲ့အနေအထားဒီကာလတစ်ခုကိုရောက်လာတဲ့အချိန်မှာဒီလိုမျိုးနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေမပြတ်လက်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုရင်အခုနောက်ပိုင်းမှာဒီကားကမ်ပဏီတွေကနေစပြီးတော့ဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေထုတ်လုပ်လာတာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်ဒီကားကမ်ပဏီဟာဆိုရင်အရင်တော့မော်တော်ကားပစ္စည်းတွေထုတ်လုပ်တဲ့ကမ်ပဏီပေါ့
To meet the shortfall, some Chinese companies in unrelated industries have started making masks. Foxconn, which manufactures Apple's iPhones in China, has switched some of its production to masks. The company aims to produce 2 million units a day by the end of the month. Others, like an automaker in South China Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, are making masks too.
အခုဆိုရင်တို့ကနှာခေါင်းစည်းထုတ်လုပ်တဲ့ တွေကိုပေါ့နော်သူတို့ကိုယ်တာသူတို့တီထွင်ပြီးတော့နှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေကိုထုတ်လုပ်လာတာ9ရက်အတွင်းမှာတင်နှာခေါင်းစည်းသက်သက်သူတို့ထုတ်လုပ်နိုင်ခဲ့တယ်လို့ဒါစည်ရင်းတွေအရာသိရတယ်ဒါအပြင်အစိုးရဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့လေဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းပေါ့နော် N95 လို့ဒီဆေးဝန်ထမ်းတွေအသုံးပြုတဲ့ဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေကိုအစိုးရဒီအဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေကနေပြီးတော့ဒါဦးစားပေးပြီးတော့ထုတ်လုပ်တာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်
Chinese mask makers were only operating at 76% capacity in mid-February, according to Chinese officials, which puts daily production at around 5 million pieces, fewer than the 20 million maximum. The country's output of N95 respirators, which are often worn by medical workers for additional production, is even lower at 200,000 a day, given the more complex technology and materials required to make them. She also explained the help China's neighbor Myanmar provides for masks and other protective clothing.
ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကနေလေဒီမြန်မာတမတော်ဘက်ကနေဒီတရုတ်နိုင်ငံအတွက်ပေါ့နော်နှာခေါင်းစည်းအကာ9000 ဒီမျက်မှန်အကာ9000နောက်စေးရုံသုံးပစ္စည်းနဲ့အကအင်ဂျီတွေကိုလည်းဒါပေးပို့လှူဒန်းခဲ့တာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်ဖေဖော်ဝါရီလ25ရက်နေ့ပေါ့နော်မှာဆိုရင်ဒီဝူဟန်မြို့ကိုအဲ့ဒီစေယုံသုံးပစ္စည်းတွေလှူဒန်းနဲ့ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကနေလှူဒန်းတဲ့ပစ္စည်းတွေကဝူဟန်ကိုရောက်ရှိလာခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီတရုတ်နဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံဆိုတာလေဒါချစ်ကြည်ရင်းနှီးမှုရှိတဲ့နိုင်ငံတွေဆွေမျိုးပေါက်ဖော်နော်နိုင်ငံတွေဖြစ်တဲ့တယောက်ကဒီလိုဖျားနာနေတဲ့အချိန်မှာတယောက်ကဖေးကူရမယ်အနေအထားဖြစ်နေတယ်
Unable to produce enough of the protective gear to meet its own demand, Beijing has also been sourcing the medical masks from overseas. Indonesian officials said at the beginning of the February that China had placed large orders for Indonesian-made masks, equating to as much as 3 months of production, and Vietnam has exported huge quantities of masks to China. There are reports that Chinese traders have started sourcing supplies in markets as far away as Kenya and Tanzania. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on the effort China is taking to meet the face mask demand. Myanmar International Agriculture Machinery Expo 2020 was held for 3 days at Myanmar Expo Hall in Yangon. During this 3-day-long expo, taking place from the 29th of February to the 2nd of March, various machineries for agro-based businesses, advanced technology demonstration, and local agro products were displayed at about 70 booths.
Myanmar International Agriculture Machinery Expo 2020 took place at Myanmar Expo Hall in Yangon, starting from 29 February to 2nd March. The expo is comprised of latest innovative value-adding technologies for agriculture sector and live demonstrations of farm mechanization equipment and machineries, product samples, and many other interesting talk shows. Myanmar Paddy Producer Association was in charge of organizing the expo with the endorsement by the Ministry of Commerce, UMFCCI, and Myanmar Rice Federation.
The purpose of holding this expo is to enhance the life of farmers, to support the agriculture sector, to help increase production, and to help transition of conventional farming to mechanized farming. In this expo, the farmers can discover various machineries and technologies at one place. To know more about the latest technologies, our sub-organizations in states and regions made efforts to invite the farmers to this expo. It is important for the farmers to understand better about the agro-based technologies to enhance farming production as well as to support the export. In this expo, there are total about 70 booths exhibited by local and international organizations where the machineries and other products are displayed.
It is aimed for the agriculture sector in Myanmar to increase the rate of export so that the profit of the farmers will be improved. Participating as the member of Myanmar Fruit, Flower, and Vegetable Producer and Exporter Association, Mek Khain Toraso said.
At present, it is much more convenient in export compared to the previous years. The government is also supporting the export sector, and as a SME, we also get aid for value-adding technologies. There are much more opportunities for export as well as better procedures.
As the local producers, she also stated about the market competition for the local products.
The advantage of the local product is that it is almost organic and cheaper than imported items. We just need to improve the packaging.
Being an agricultural country, there are plenty of farmers and agro-based producers in states and regions across the country. The expo is aimed to help them observe how to improve the productivity.
It's great to hold such kind of expos frequently because it can create a network for the farmers, agro-based producers and customers. For the companies which are distributing the machineries, we are able to display the latest innovation for them. It is good for us to get in touch with our customers in agribusiness. In my opinion, it is quite important to install advanced machineries in farming. If we look at our neighboring countries such as Thailand, Vietnam, or Cambodia, they are also given priority to utilizing advanced technologies in agricultural sector. The advanced technologies and machineries can help farmers improve the profit and decrease the loss.
During the 3-day-long expo held at Myanmar Expo Hall in Yangon, the visitors were able to watch practical demonstration of the machineries, as well as discover the local producers and various agro-based products. This is Dora Susan from MI Radio reporting about Myanmar International Agriculture Machinery Expo 2020.
And moving on to the last report. Korean food lovers from Yangon got a chance to taste some delicious Korean food free of charge at the Korean Food Festival. The festival 2020 was held from the 28th of February to the 1st of March in the evening at Sanyet-nyang Gamon-pui Shopping Center Promotion Area. The festival was organized by GMD Global Company and Korea Agriculture Fisheries and Food Trade Corporation. Let's take a look.
Korea Food Festival 2020 was held from 28 February to 1st March in the evening from 5 to 8 p.m. at Sanyet-nyang Gamon-pui Shopping Center Promotion Area. The festival was organized by GMD Global Company and Korea Agro-Fishery and Food Trade Corporation. Korean food lovers from Yangon got a chance to taste some delicious Korean food free of charge at the Korean Food Festival. Ha Tae-sao, CEO of GMD Company, mentioned that the conditions of Korea food markets in Myanmar. Ha Tae-sao, CEO of GMD Global Company, said,
Compared to other neighboring countries, the market condition in Myanmar is significantly rising. Korean foodstuff achieves a 10% increase annually in Myanmar market. I wish Myanmar people would love to eat Korean foods as it is safe and delicious and more familiar with Korean cuisine. And also we are trying to import more Korean foodstuffs for Korean food lovers in Myanmar. We held a small Korean food fair last year. Since that time, we found out that Myanmar people really love to eat Korean foods. That's why we expanded as the food festival with more items and more activities. This year, the visitors got the chance to taste the foods openly and freely during the festival. Almost the whole month, we are offering a 10% discount for all items displayed at every Gamon-pui shopping center in Yangon. There are also chances to get one item free if they bought 2 products.
At the festival, the visitors were also treated with the Korean sushi rolls known as kimbap, and the native Korean female chef taught the visitors how to make a delicious kimbap. The visitor also enjoyed along with the entertainment programs, games, and lucky draws. Spokesman of Korea Agro-Fisheries and Trade Corporation expressed that the main reason of holding Korean Food Festival 2020 and whether to keep holding the festival annually. Choi Soo, spokesman of Korean Agro-Fishery and Food Trade Corporation, said,
The festival aims to make Myanmar people more familiar with Korean cuisine. We plan that the visitors can also take part and enjoy Korean food during the festival. The public can get the promotion for these items at all the 5 places of Gamon-pui in Yangon. Though we are not sure who will collaborate with us in next year's food festivals, we are going to kick off the festival every year in Myanmar and even in another city.
Hey Mimyet, who is one of the participants in the Korea Food Festival 2020, said,
I love to eat Korean food, and I think most of the youths love Korean food. My friends and I usually participate in the food festivals as well as night markets because we can take picture in the festival. Here, we can not only taste the Korean food but also the entertainment programs, and we can play some games and get the gifts also.
The Korea Food Festival 2020 introduced Myanmar people with new imported Korean foodstuffs, including fruits, vegetables, mushroom, Korean traditional sauce, rice cake, noodle, and canned fish. The Korean food lovers can get the chance to have a 10% discount on all the items displayed in the festival till the 3rd week of March in all Gamongwit Shopping Center in Yangon. I am Jyoti Ritu. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
That's all with the news and reports on Myanmar Today Review. Tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for a Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.